Hi guys, Dennis here from Denny Bob's RC. Hey, getting a little more progress on the Bruder Linde HT160 heavy duty forklift. Doing the RC conversion on it, and got my drive kind of figured out, and I'm pretty happy with it. I did go with a 170 RPM motor, a good Servo City motor with a drive shaft, and I'll try to show it to you. I almost wish I kind of went up to maybe a 300 RPM, but I don't have any. I think the 170 is actually going to be a nice manageable speed for a forklift and not too fast. A lot of times, a lot of these manufacturers, they make stuff way too quick, way too fast, and you got to slow them down with endpoints. This one, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out, and we'll kind of go through it and I'll show you. Yep, I got a Servo City 170 RPM gear motor with a drive shaft going to the front differential, and I got this mount off Servo City off of their old Actrobotics. I got all kinds of that stuff laying around here, so I used stuff that I had on hand. No sense in buying more stuff if you don't have to. But I'm pretty happy with kind of how it turned out. Kind of flip it upside down, and I got a plate that the motor mounts to. If I need to drop that motor out for any reason, I take those 4 screws out of that plate, and that whole motor drops right out of there. So I think I'm going to put a block off plate behind here a little bit to kind of cover it up. I'm going to go and add a bunch of weight down in the belly before I start adding a bunch of electronics. I need to get my ESCs figured out yet. I'll need one for the tilt, one for the raise, and I'll need another ESC to power the drive motor. But other than that, it's going together kind of nicely, and everything kind of snaps together yet. Kind of nice. I'll do that for you guys, and just kind of it'll take me a little bit to get it back apart again, but I won't snap everything completely tight, and we'll kind of see how this thing looks when it's completely together. I'll demonstrate the drive motor, kind of, you can see the wheel speed of it. But I'm gonna get my camera tripod set up and we'll do a little demonstration. Sorry guys, the bench is an absolute disaster area, but I'm not cleaning it up. I got a lot of work yet to do. Yeah, I got just kind of everything kind of hot wired at the moment to run off a battery and kind of do a demonstration on some of the stuff. The drive wires should be here, and since it's an open differential, yeah, it'll speed up if you slow one of the wheels down. This differential does have a diff lock to it. I don't think I'm going to hook it up, but it's capable if I need it. I laid it down on the ground, and drive speed seems about perfect. I mean, I don't want it to go really, really fast, with loads and whatnot, but and I think I showed you guys in the other video the mast tilt works just fine. That's the drive, and I'll get all my ESCs wired in here, and everything will be so much nicer to do on a radio. The Octronics linear actuators are so nice and quiet, and you barely hear them over the cheaper Chinese knockoffs. They're just so much quieter. And I might take this all back apart yet, do some painting, cover some stuff up, and kind of give it some more detail, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I demonstrated the steering servo last night. I got that all kind of figured out, I think, and I'll have to set the endpoints on it. But these things actually, the hardest part is when this snaps down in, these two front really latch pretty tight, but we'll get a Stuff kind of all snaps together. I probably should have put this on first, because I think, nope. I'm going to take it off that. These pieces of foam work pretty nice for setting the stuff down on and working on. And keeping them off the ground so you can test the drives and whatnot. Once you snap all these into place, they are kind of a pain to get back apart again. But and I'm gonna have to all snap it all back apart again and go into that. But all comes together, and I may go from underside and put some screws in to hold everything together. That way I don't have to fight tabs if I ever have to tear it back apart again. But all these steps go in, and these can be a real son of a gun, and that's the main reason I had to tear this apart the last time, and actually had to gut it and cut it open in the bottom because of that. It is and these all go in certain spots. And they are somewhat of a son of a gun to get back out again. So I'm going to take this tab, bend it down so that it doesn't lock in so hard. I actually have some black plastic plugs to go in this yet. That I have ordered to go in here, and then I'll have another black plastic plug to go here. But in there, it's pretty much all assembled again. So that's pretty slick on how that works. Let's tilt that down a little bit. And this is the drive, and this should be the other linear actuator to tilt the boom. But yeah, and they're just black plastic plugs. Ordered them off Amazon. I think these are 1/2 inch, and this is like a 5/8, and they'll push in there and it'll cover up those holes. Because from the factory, Bruder had a little steering wheel back here to steer the rear axle and whatnot, and here was the lock for the tilt. Went through here, but I eliminated that as well. But they're pretty cool. I mean, the doors open on these and everything. As a toy, it's pretty neat. Hopefully I can get it all back tore apart again, but shouldn't be a problem. And but I think that looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that, kind of how everything is kind of turning out and how everything is going. Let's see. Yeah, that's about all I'm going to get for top speed on it. When I get the ESC in there and get my endpoints, I may be able to increase it to 120%, maybe to speed it up just slightly. But then I will set up my radio to have a dual mode switch, to have a low speed and a high speed. And then if I really have some real fine maneuvering I need to do, I can slow it down even more and then not have to worry about feathering the radio so much. But I need to get some weight added to it. It weighs quite a bit now. I don't have an actual weight, but I did turn around and change the rear tires and put the same tire on as what's on the front, and it seems to clear a lot better. They're not sticking way out of the wheel wells or anything, and I've got more clearance when the rear axle's oscillating. So, and what I'll do is I'll probably come in here and put some red lights, and I'll put a couple of white lights and hook them up as reverse lights, maybe, and then maybe get a couple of other lights to put up here on the cab, maybe a strobe light or some flashing amber lights. I have a bunch of just flashing ambers, and I might just put a pair of them on the cab. I don't know yet. I'm just happy to get it to this far. It actually, you know, still looks like the original toy yet. It's not really all butchered up or anything. I'm pretty happy with how it's kind of turned out. The bottom side looks pretty nice, nicely done for me. And I'm going to put another block off plate here. All the wires are just got running out here for everything right at the moment, but just for testing. But the next thing is make sure I've got a radio and a receiver here, and I should have plenty of room to now this should pop open to put a battery in. I'll probably do is build a tray in here or a shelf to set the battery on, and then get all the electronics down below. And I got to remember to put some nuts, some different things that I have fastened in here. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it's kind of turning out. Anyway, kind of have to let me know what you think. Next step is actually getting a radio picked, and I think I do have another i6 radio here, I believe, and receiver, and I can get that bound to the radio and everything, and then start getting my ESC stuff figured out. I've got some smaller 20 amp ESCs which may work good for the lift, and I think they're 30 amp ESCs to run the boom and to run the mast lift. I keep calling it a boom. That's incorrect. This is a mast. This is a forklift. If I had a boom, it'd be a excavator, but or skid loader or whatever. But this is the mast. The mast tilt I need an ESC for, and a mast lift I need an ESC for. I think I've got some 30 amperes that should be sufficient for that, and I'll run a T8, probably a 1060 hobby wing for the wheel drive itself. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it's kind of turning out. I've thought about taking these rims and maybe if I could find this exact red to match that, I might do that, or paint them kind of a silverish gray to get away from the white buds. But part of it, yeah, this is an old used set and it kind of been yellowed from sitting around on the shelf and whatnot. So I don't know yet. That's the least of my worries at the moment. I mean, that stuff I can pull off and do when after the whole thing is done. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. But overall, you know, for let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, now Wednesday night, I worked on it pretty much most of the day on Sunday, I think, in the afternoon anyway. No, I didn't work on it at all. Saturday afternoon, I do believe. I can't remember. My days run into each other anymore because I'm working out here all the time. But winter has sprung to us, and it's super cold outside and windy, and it was snowing a little bit earlier, but just some flurries. But anyway, guys have to let me know what you think. I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. So now it comes down to the nitty-gritty of doing the wiring for lights, if I want to put lights on it, or if I want to, you know, get all my ESCs. Everything's got to get put in here yet, and that's always my I actually enjoy the getting all this stuff to work. It's those final steps that are the tedious, time-consuming things, and you want to get all those wires kind of out of the way so they don't get caught in anything. And but anyway, you have to let me know what you think. Catch you guys later.